This is a battery. But for what? It's not a 12-volt battery like what goes in your car. It's a 48-volt battery and it costs $740. It has the same power as 4 of these 12-volt car batteries. So what's it for? This is what we use to power our house. In many cases, we use 4 of these batteries hooked together. And some people may use 12 of these or even more. It all depends on how much power you use per day. These batteries connect the positive and negative terminals to an inverter like this. You can actually power up the electricity in your house. If you buy solar panels like this, you can recharge your batteries every day. These 3 things together can eliminate your electric bill. I did this exact thing at my cabin that is totally off the grid. If you're trying to learn about solar, this video will explain it pretty easy. So this particular battery is made by a company called WattCycle. This is one of the cheapest solar batteries on the market. Today we're going to take a look at this battery and see exactly how it works. By the end of this video, we will install 6 of these batteries directly to my house. We will power up the things that I consider critical. This video will show you how simple it can be to create your own power by building your own home solar. This can save you thousands of dollars by doing it yourself. So let me show you the features that one of these server rack batteries have. This is a 48-volt battery with a nominal voltage of 51.2 volts. 48-volt systems are much more efficient than using a lower voltage system such as 12 volt or even 24 volt. That's why you see most solar systems set up with 48 volts. In some cases, some of the solar systems are starting to go with higher voltage than this. So batteries like this will have a built-in battery management system. It's kind of like a computer inside. It won't let the battery get overcharged, overheated, or even discharged too fast. It's actually made to help prolong the life of the battery. And that's what helps a battery like this last up to 15 years or even more. This particular battery by WattCycle has a built-in LCD screen. This makes it convenient to be able to instantly check your voltage or your state of charge. A battery like this is safe to charge indoors, unlike your old lead-acid batteries. This makes it the perfect battery to install inside your house for solar installation. These batteries are actually considered to be smart batteries. They can communicate with other batteries and the inverter. They communicate through these connection ports here. You can run this in CAN or RS-485 to your other batteries and then to your inverter. All this will help keeping within the charge parameters of the battery. So I want to open this battery up and see how well it's built internally. But before we do that, we have WattCycle's older version server rack battery. So they look pretty close and they are the same size, but the first thing you're going to notice is this newer version has the LCD screen. They both have communication ports and they both have an on and off breaker. I think the real upgrade is going to be inside the battery. The previous battery here didn't get the greatest review from everyone, but I believe the new and improved battery has fell in line with some of the very best. All right, so let's pop the hood on these things and see what's up. Okay, the first thing I'm noticing on this newer battery is that the BMS is not covered like the old one. Let's see what our difference is. Here we are. The new one here is supposed to have active balancing, which is actually going to actively keep each individual cell balanced. This here metal bracket is going to be a big safety feature holding the cells down in the newer version. The previous version has these plastic retainers and they're not really retaining anything except the wiring. There's nothing to hold these cells in if you're to turn this thing upside down. As you see, a lot of the wiring that's in here in the previous version is now deleted from this side and they're using the bus bars here. And it's just a much cleaner look. One of the things that's always mentioned and frowned upon is right here, the wiring is soldered to the bus bars. This is the new and better design with the ring terminals here being held down by screws. These individual battery cells in here are the same grade as EV cells. They're called BYD cells, and they're the same type of cells that are put into the electric vehicles. So yeah, this newer battery is a major improvement from the older battery here. On their website, they're explaining that Will Prowse inspired them to do a much better build because of the fact he tested their older battery and found a lot of flaws. I'm glad to see that some of these companies are actually listening to the people, upgrading and building these batteries better when somebody finds something wrong. So yeah, this is a much greater improvement for the entirety of this battery. So let's get it back together and get them installed. We're going to go ahead and get these batteries lined up here, set in here where we want them. and number 6. Okay, so you may take notice, guys, that we are going to be current sharing with the 2 older batteries made by the same company. I don't think we're going to be running communication, so this is going to be a pretty easy setup. We're basically going to wire all the positives on one side and all the negatives on another side. That wiring is going to go to our new bus bars. These are the actual 2 bus bars that we're going to be using, one for the positive and one for the negative. And then from the bus bars directly into the inverter. These bus bars will run you about 59 bucks, which is a great deal, and I'll leave a link in the description of the video for these. Okay, guys, if you've seen some of my previous videos, you know that I have already installed a nice solar system here in my house. Our 6500 watt inverter and our critical load panel is already wired in, so it's gonna make this install much easier. The inverter is what the batteries feed the power to, and then the power comes out of the inverter, which is 120 volt, going into the critical load panel, and then in turn going into the main breaker panel and powering up the receptacles and the lights in this house. And if you'll look right here, you see this positive and negative wire coming in. This is from the solar array that's outside. It's 10 solar panels at 400 watts, giving us a total of 4,000 watts. This is a really cool system, and it's kind of large in size, and it's going to fit really nice in my laundry room here. All right, those are mounted real nice on the wall there. It's time to wire up the batteries and then get the inverter wired into the bus bars. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go the positive to the positive to the positive. Same on this side here, and then we're gonna do that on that side there. And then we're gonna take a positive off this side and a negative off this end diagonally. We're gonna run those to the bus bars. We're going to do the same exact thing on this side. So basically, these 3 will be ran in parallel. These 3 will be ran in parallel also. And then we'll run 2 wires off this bank and 2 wires off this bank to go to the bus bar. Now, you could run individual wiring from each battery to the bus bars. There's plenty of terminals to do that. But what I'm doing here is saving a little cost and using some of the wiring that they sent with us. These are for going from battery to battery here. And it's going to be okay. It's not going to imbalance the batteries because you're only doing 3 in a row here and 3 in a row here. If you're going to do more than 3, like 4 or more batteries, you definitely want to run individual wires to the bus bars. All right, so we have our 4 wires, the 2 that are going to come from positive and negative on this side of the bank, and the 2 that are going to come from this side of the bank. We're going to go ahead and get these hooked up to the bus bars real quick. Whew, okay guys, there it is. You got your 2 positives on the positive side of the bus bar and the 2 negatives on the negative side there. Now, the only thing left to do is hook up the positive from the inverter and hook up the negative from the inverter, and then yeah, I think we're ready to switch it on. We'll just go around and check our connections, make sure that they're all extra tight, nothing's loose, and we'll be good to fire this system up. Tight, tight, tight. All these are good. Check every one of them, make sure nothing moves. A lot of power, and you don't want anything to get heated up from a short or loose wire. You know there's some serious voltage that's going to be coming into these bus bars here, so that's what's cool about these covers. Some people they say, well, just separate the bus bars more where there's never a chance for anything to touch them and short them out, and that's also a good idea. But if you don't have the room, you know, this works really well. So the one thing you don't want is something to fall against the bus bars, like a piece of metal or metal chair or a person, anything like that. They're going to be carrying a high current at about 56 volts at times. All right, here we go. First thing, we'll just turn some breakers on. Now we're going to turn the BMSs on here. There's that one. Let's do that one. We'll do that one, that one, that one, and that one. See what we got here. So far, so good. I don't see anything going into an alert or alarm mode or anything like that. So I think we're good. Everything is at 100% charged. I fully charged every one of these batteries before I hooked them in here. So the only thing left now is flip the switch on the inverter and power up the house. I've been running these video filming lights there and here on a different power source. So we're about to power the house up now. So when I hit the switch, everything should come on. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the inverter here. And then it's gonna take a minute. Okay, there's the inverter, 53.9 volts. It'll take a minute and then everything should come on. I don't think I turned any other breakers off. There it is. All right, guys, there you go. The house is now completely powered up, running off of the watt cycle batteries. Like I said, they are at 100% charge, so we've got plenty of power to run us through the night. So yeah, this thing's turned out to be a pretty decent setup. I'm kind of excited to have 30 kilowatt hours of power here in the house. We do have an alarm on the inverter, which is code 58, and I know that means lost communication. So we're going to change the settings. I'll go into user-defined settings where I can set the parameter of the voltages myself. Because like I said, I think we're just going to run these batteries here without communication. Now maybe in the future, I might run the communication cables up to the inverter and see how it does. But for right now, at least tonight, I'm just going to let things be. I'll do some testing tomorrow and see how the batteries are running. So if you're interested in having a system just like this, something that can power up all of the critical things in your home, and this thing can even run air conditioners, water heater. It runs 240 volt and 120 volt both. So yeah, I'm going to leave links for the inverter, the bus bars here, and I'm going to leave links for the watt cycle batteries. When I was talking to Watt Cycle, they went ahead and gave me a 10% discount for my viewers. So yeah, if you click on the links in the description of the video, you're going to be able to see what price these batteries are running after the 10% discount. I was also told that the discount would run to the end of February. So if you're interested in these, you might want to jump on them pretty quick. So yeah, tell me what you think. I love installing these systems like this. I love trying out new batteries. And I really love having this backup system to power my house. I don't have to be so dependent on the grid, and this definitely saves money on my electric bill.